Live XAUUSD market update, plus May 14 forecast for Sri Lankan traders. 01. Live spot gold prices, the 13th of May, 2026. Current XAUUSD spot price, around $4,694.59, $4,695.99. This represents a decline of approximately 0.4% compared to the previous day. US gold futures, June 2026, around $4,702.40, $4,705.30. This shows an increase of about 0.3%, 0.4%. Spot gold remains below the $4,700 level, while futures are trading slightly higher. This suggests short-term uncertainty in the market. However, selling pressure appears weak, indicating a sideways market condition. 02. Today's main news. US inflation pressures gold prices lower. The US Consumer Price Index (CPI) data was released recently. Annual CPI 3.8%, previous month 3.3%. This is the highest inflation reading in 3 years. As a result, expectations for Federal Reserve interest rate cuts have almost disappeared. Instead, the probability of a rate hike by the end of 2026 has risen to nearly 30%. The US dollar index DXY strengthened to 98.37. A stronger DXY generally puts downward pressure on XAUUSD due to the usual inverse relationship between the US dollar and gold prices. 03. Strait of Hormuz tensions. Oil prices rise and impact gold. Due to the partial closure of the Strait of Hormuz, Brent crude oil prices surged above $100 per barrel. Higher oil prices lead to higher inflation, which may encourage the Federal Reserve to keep interest rates elevated for longer. This is considered negative for XAUUSD. However, geopolitical tensions often increase safe haven demand for gold in the longer term, even if they initially pressure prices. 04. Technical analysis. Key resistance and support levels. Resistance levels. First resistance, $4,775. 50-day simple moving average, SMA. Second resistance, $4,828. Support levels. First support, $4,687 to 0-day SMA. Second support, $4,600. Major support, $4,500. May fall low. RSI indicator, around 55.46. Neutral territory, showing the market is not heavily overbought or oversold. 05. Central bank gold purchases. Record Q1 2026 demand. Global central banks purchased 244 tons of gold during the first quarter of 2026. This represents a 3% increase compared to Q1 of the previous year. Total global gold demand reached 1,231 tons, valued at approximately $193 billion, a historical record. This strong institutional buying creates a solid long-term support base for gold prices and remains a positive factor for long-term investors. 06. Institutional forecasts for 2026. Goldman Sachs forecast $5,400 by the end of 2026,000. JP Morgan forecast potential move towards $6,300. World Bank forecast average price around $4,700. Note, forecasts vary significantly between institutions. These projections are generally more useful for long-term investment perspectives rather than short-term trading. XAUUSD forecast for the 14th of May, 2026. Expected events on May 14. 1. US Producer Price Index (PPI) release. This will provide another important signal regarding inflation. Market expectation: monthly PPI increase of 0.2%. If the actual number comes in higher than expected, XAUUSD may decline further. 2. Federal Reserve Chair rumors. There are growing discussions surrounding Kevin Warsh as a possible candidate. He is considered relatively hawkish. If selected, this could be negative for gold prices. Forecast scenarios for May 14. Most likely scenario: XAUUSD trades between $4,670, $4,720. Bearish scenario: price may test the $4,600 support zone. Bullish scenario: limited upside potential toward $4,750. Official outlook: due to ongoing inflation concerns, the market is expected to remain mostly sideways with a slightly bearish bias. Selling pressure could increase above the $4,700 level, while buying interest may appear below $4,650. Traders are advised to avoid overly aggressive positions. Actionable trading ideas for May 14. Swing traders: consider small buy positions near the $4,650 area with stop losses below $4,600. Day traders: wait for the PPI release before entering trades and follow post-news momentum carefully. Market summary: short-term direction remains heavily dependent on inflation data and Federal Reserve expectations. Long-term support for gold remains strong due to central bank buying and geopolitical uncertainty. Disclaimer: this content is provided for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Trading XAUUSD carries significant risk. Always conduct your own research before trading. This is Trade with Mr. Sadhu. Trade smart. Manage risk. Protect capital.